What is up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to another pregame preview. And today we're going to be previewing our 1-3 Las Vegas Raiders heading over to Indianapolis to face the 3-1 Indianapolis Colts. The Raiders right now are coming off of 3 straight losses, and it's been tough. Trust me, it's been tough rooting for this team. Especially last week, the Raiders faced a heartbreaking loss in the last seconds of that game. But this week is a new week. That means we have another chance to come out on top.
You sure about that?
Even though the Raiders are sitting at 1-3, they did look much better last week. Everybody played well on all facets of the game outside of Geno Smith, who continues to struggle with turnovers. Now, the Raiders will be facing a Colts team who's been red hot so far this season, led by Indiana Jones and Jonathan Taylor. So it won't be an easy one. This game will come down to who wants it more at the end of the day. So today we'll be going over some of the biggest storylines, some players to watch, and so much more. But if this is the very first time you guys are coming across this channel and you love Raiders content, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. Y'all already know the drill. We can't start no pregame preview without giving you some nation news that you can use. All right, real quick, some breaking news came out. Initially, when I shot this video, I thought Brock Bowers had a chance to play because Pete Carroll said that he would. Now, some news just came out, according to Ian Rappaport, that Raiders star tight end Brock Bowers is trending towards not playing Sunday against the Colts. Per me and Tom Pelissero, Bowers has been battling a knee injury. While Coach Pete Carroll expressed confidence in Bowers out on the field, his knee didn't respond. So I guess him not practicing was just a sign of him not being ready to play this week, which I'm totally fine with. If he's not 100% out there, I don't want him out there. It is what it is. We got to move forward with what we have right now. On top of that, Michael Mayer will not be playing in this game as well, so the Raiders will be without their 2 top tight ends. In a corresponding move, though, the Raiders have elevated tight end Albert O. I mean, damn. Really sucks to not have our guys out there, but it is what it is. We got to move forward and hopefully still come away with that victory. But what are your thoughts, Raider Nation, on this latest news? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, another starter will be out in this game, according to Ryan McFadden. He tweeted out that Raiders linebacker Jermaine Pratt, non-injury related, will not travel with the team to Indianapolis and is out for Sunday's game. Now, I will say that this is a significant loss for the Raiders on the defensive side of the ball. I know our linebacker position is pretty solid. It's kind of surprising that so far this season, they've been one of the strong points on the defensive side of the ball. So not having Pratt out there could be a loss for this team, but I'm not too worried about it. All right, Raider Nation, before I break down this week's matchup against the Indianapolis Colts, I gotta be real with you guys for a second. Just like the season has its ups and downs, so does staying in shape while I'm at every home game. That's why I've been focused on staying active and making sure I'm fueling my body the right way. And let's be honest, a lot of supplements out there are filled with junk and fillers, kind of like the Chargers fan base. And that's why I've partnered up with Transparent Labs. Their grass-fed whey protein isolate has been a game changer for me. Clean ingredients, no nonsense, and it helps me hit my fitness goals. Now, my go-to is definitely the strawberry milkshake. It tastes just as good as it sounds. Plus, they got 14 different flavors, so you never get bored. Now, for a limited time, you'll get 10% off, plus a free protein starter kit like this when you click the link down below or you scan the QR code right here. Big shout out to Transparent Labs for sponsoring the video and helping me keep that game day energy. That being said, let's get right back into this game day preview. Yay! Now I want to go over some of my biggest storylines going into this game. First, the quarterback matchup. Now, of course, it's going to be a big matchup between Daniel Jones, aka Indiana Jones, versus Geno Smith. As for Jones, he's been off to a hot start this season, throwing for 1,078 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He has led this Colts team to a 3-1 start. Last week, he struggled a bit against the Rams, but I feel like overall still played a better game than we've seen from Geno Smith, who I'll get to in just a little bit. It's crazy to see the narrative change on Daniel Jones, to see how well he's been playing, which is great to see. You know, he's a guy that's been written off, but has been proving a lot of doubters wrong so far this season. And right now, he seems to be an early candidate for comeback player of the year, just the way he's been playing and leading this Colts team. And I know it's not going to be easy for this Raiders defense, to get to this guy. Now, on the other side, we got Geno Smith, of course, a quarterback that we all know real well. And these past 4 weeks, we've started to see the signs with Geno Smith struggling. I mean, he's been struggling ever since that Patriots game to at least put together a solid showing and helping this team win. I mean, the Raiders right now is 1-3, last in the division, but the season is far from over. So far this season, Geno Smith has thrown for 948 yards, 6 touchdowns, and a measly 7 interceptions. On top of that, we know that Geno Smith has been struggling with the turnovers, throwing 3 interceptions in 2 different games, which is definitely unacceptable for this offense, especially with all the weapons that we have. And even though the offensive line is a bit shaky, this past game, they did not allow a sack, but somehow Geno Smith continues to struggle. Looking at Daniel Jones in that pass-heavy offense with the Colts, they could possibly expose the Raiders secondary if the defense cannot get to him. While the Raiders pass offense has struggled so far these past couple of weeks, they still have a lot of upside with all the players that we have at our disposal. Of course, Brock Bowers, one to name a few, Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers, and even Dante Thornton. Hopefully the Raiders can utilize Jack Bech a little bit more. I mean, we drafted him in the second round for some reason, but we'll see which quarterback comes out on top in this game. Now, my second storyline will be that running back battle between Jonathan Taylor and Ashton Jeanty. Now, Jonathan Taylor, we know, is one of the best premier running backs in the league, and right now he is leading the league in rushing yards and remains to be the Colts' bread and butter on the offensive side of the ball. Now, Taylor will be a big problem for the Raiders defense, but I do have some confidence in this defensive line and this front seven to slow Jonathan Taylor down. They've done it for the past 3 out of 4 games, so I look forward to them replicating that in this game. The Raiders defense needs to force Daniel Jones to beat us in the air, especially with no Alec Pierce and possibly no Michael Pittman in this game. If we can stop the run and contain Jonathan Taylor, then I'll give the Raiders a bit of an edge to come out on top. Now, on the other side of the coin, we have Ashton Jeanty, who broke out last week against the Chicago Bears, racking up a total of 155 yards and 3 touchdowns. And to add on to that, the Raiders now have a reliable running back too in Raheem Mostert, who really showed out last week. Now, I believe that the Raiders should rely on the running game to help this team out and drive down the field, score points, keep drives alive. We need the running game to complement the passing game, because if we have to rely on Geno Smith and his arm in this game, it might not be too good. I believe that this game will come down to who has the momentum at the end of the game, and that starts with the running game on both sides. And the last storyline for this game is the offensive line worries. Now, of course, the Raiders offensive line finally put it all together in this last game against the Bears, especially adding JPJ to the starting lineup. They did real great. No penalties, no pressures, no sacks. That's a first for this season. But of course, something has always got to go wrong with this Raiders team. The Raiders lose their best offensive tackle, heck, their best offensive line last week, and Colton Miller for the foreseeable future, meaning that Stone Forsythe will be starting in this game at left tackle. And trust me, I know a lot of fans are not really excited about this. The biggest question will be, will this affect the offensive line play? Now the Raiders offensive line will be going up against a defensive line led by Latu, who broke out last week and could give Stone Forsythe a run for his money. And we know how bad that offensive line can be if they're not in sync. So hopefully this whole week of practice with Stone Forsythe at left tackle could do some right. Let's just hope that it doesn't go downhill from here, because we know when Geno Smith is starting to get pressured, it ain't a good look, and we don't want to see any of those turnovers, and it all comes down to that offensive line and how well they play. Now, I know that this matchup ain't going to be easy for the Raiders, and the Raiders have been struggling so far this season, but you know who doesn't need to struggle? You don't need to struggle. If you guys want to take some wins this year, then I want to introduce you to one of the sponsors of this video, MyBookie. With MyBookie, betting on the silver and black has never been easier. Spreads, props, live lines, all in one spot. And I know the Raiders right now are the underdogs yet again. But if you have some trust in the silver and black, then bet on the black and bet on the underdogs and win some money. The good thing for you, if you're new, you can use my promo code Samoan, and any bet that you place up to $500 is fully covered. And the great thing about it is if your bet doesn't hit, then it's all good as long as you opt in for your bet back bonus token. So that said, there's no better time to join than right now. Join MyBookie today and just win, baby. Now let's go over some players to watch in this game. First up, of course, has got to be our quarterback play. And of course, I've stated it before and I'm gonna state it again. Geno Smith, coming off of his worst performance yet, throwing for 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, but the 3 interceptions on top of that was the game changer in last week's game. Going into this week, I want to see a much better play out of Geno Smith. No turnovers, play smart football. Just watching the game and seeing the passes that he threw, especially the interceptions, you could see the vision with Geno Smith. He was staring down his receivers, and that's something that he's got to work on, which I hope he works on. I know that he's capable of much more, and hopefully we don't have to rely on him too much, but if we have to, we need Geno Smith to play up to the expectations that we have for him this season. Against the Colts defense, I know it's not going to be easy, but do your job. The second player to watch in this game is definitely Stone Forsythe. Like I stated earlier, Colton Miller is going to be out for the next couple of weeks, and Stone Forsythe has taken over that spot at left tackle. And if he wants to keep his job here, he's got to play great this week against this Colts defense. I felt much better last week with the rest of this offensive line, but he's the new guy coming in, and I hope he doesn't fuck things up for this offense. The last player to watch in this game is definitely Maxx Crosby. I mean, I said it last week and I'm gonna say it again, man. This dude sets the tone for the defensive side of the ball. And if we need to rely on the defense to step up even more, it's definitely this week against the Indianapolis Colts, putting that pressure on Daniel Jones. And it starts with our leader, Maxx Crosby, who had a huge showing last week against the Chicago Bears, having 5 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3 pass deflections, a forced fumble, an interception, and a QB hit. The defense played lights out last week up until the last drive of the game for the Bears, but it all started with Maxx Crosby, and I'm hoping to see a bigger game from him this week to set the tone against the run and even against Daniel Jones. As long as we put that pressure on Daniel Jones, we can expect some turnovers as we seen last week against the Rams. That being said, Raider Nation, what are your predictions going into this game? Do you have any confidence in this team to come out with a W? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And until the next video, this is your boy Some More Raider, and your boy is yeah.